This is Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, brought to you by the Iowa Soybean Association, your daily recap of the information that affects Iowa's farmers, producers, and consumers, right here in the heart of the heartland. With reports from our award-winning broadcast team of Dustin Hoffman, Riley Smith, and Mark Magnuson. Now, from the IARN studios in Des Moines, here's Riley Smith.
Well, good day and welcome to Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Riley Smith. Today is Wednesday, December 21st, 2022, officially the first day of winter, although it's felt like winter for a little bit longer than that. We're so glad you can join us today. In today's episode of Ag Matters PM, I talk with Iowa Cattlemen's Association CEO Matt Deppe. We also have a look at that ag weather outlook, but first, let's run down the markets.
It's time now for the Ag Matters PM Closing Market Summary, your source for market analysis and settlement prices from the day's trade in Chicago, courtesy of the folks at agmarket.net.
Well, we're at the end of another trading day, and for a bit of analysis, we go to Tyler Schau of agmarket.net. Tyler, what have we seen going on first off in the grain markets today?
Positive day all across the board. All grains are higher, which is always makes my job a little bit easier when the screen is all green. So apparently today is the first day of winter, and everyone now has realized it. And I think that really led the charge. This storm that's getting ready to barrel down on the Midwest, it's been predicted or forecasted for a while. I think today what you saw was the cold temperatures start to extend further south, and they've taken some of the snow out. So there's becoming more and more fear of some winter kill going on in winter wheat country. Last I saw, they're talking up to 35% of the hard red winter wheat crop is now at risk of some type of winter kill. And then probably more surprisingly, now they're saying 15% of the soft winter wheat, so your Chicago variety, is also vulnerable to winter kill. And that just kind of came across here midday, and that's you see Chicago wheat up 17 cents, Kansas City wheat up 16 cents. Direct reflection of that risk that exists from this storm that's coming. Corn likely also pushing higher. Obviously, no winter kill risk with corn market, but market's going to start to worry that cash grain is going to slow down the trade. A lot of farmers are going to go into hibernation, and definitely not going to be moving a lot of grain this time of the year. So just some of that premium being built into the market as the cash grain trade will slow down as a result of these storms that's coming in. And no one really likes hauling corn when it's cold anyway. So.
Right. Do those winter events or even just other weather events that we could possibly get at this time of year, do they usually cause a bit of a scare like this in the marketplace?
Yeah, they'll create some. It's very dependent on the setup. I think this year is probably a little more of a ripe setup for winter kill issues in the wheat, just because of the extreme drought that most of that wheat, especially in the hard red belt, got seeded into. So we went into far less than ideal situation into seeding. That crop is already not off to a good start. Throw in the fact that now we're going to blast it with sub-zero temperatures in some cases, some major winds. Looks like the wind chill, and I know wind chill is different than actual air temperature. Wind chills in the negative 20s and 30s, extending all the way down into the Texas plains. So that's going to have an effect on that crop. The tough thing with that, you do have to bear in mind, we won't know the results of any type of winter kill really for months. So it's, we're in a speculative market all the time. There's a lot of speculation on how things are going to play out. You throw an event like this in, it's really hard to tell what the exact ramifications of it are. But essentially, you just got traders building in some risk into that wheat market ahead of it. If it comes to fruition and it happens to be colder than expected, I could see this move higher continuing and continuing to carry the other grains with it.
Right. And, although the wind chill and the actual temp are a little different, that wind chill especially has an effect on the livestock. So are we seeing any fears from that cold weather kind of incorporated into that market yet?
Yeah, the fat cattle market had a very strong day today, up $1 in December fats, up $2 in February fats. A lot of people are pointing to the weather as, it's just going to make it cold temperatures like that are going to slow the growth process down. any nutrition that cattle are going to intake is going to be spent on just maintaining. You're not going to be adding a lot of weight. We're already in a situation where we've got lower numbers in the feedlots. We've got high feed costs. So weights of, we're not killing super heavy cattle already. So you bring an event like this in that's just going to slow that growth rate down even more, just adds more premium to those cattle. And that's why you're seeing that fat cattle market up today. Feeders following it. Hogs, I would love to tell you I have a good reason. February hogs closed up $4.15 today. Reasons for that, there really weren't any fundamental reasons outside of possibly this weather scare kind of getting, the market a little bit stirred up. Again, probably going to slow down hogs making it to slaughter facilities over the next week to 2 weeks. That's going to back stuff up. Anytime you get these type of hiccups, the market's going to work its way through it. It'll grind through it, and at some point we'll catch up. But it is going to throw a little bit of a wrinkle into the slaughter pace, and so I'm sure that just had some traders running in, buying up that upfront contract and pushed hogs higher. Yesterday we would have told you to expect more downside pressure to the hog market, and then here you go, we're up $4. So strange things can happen, and really strange things happen in the hog market.
All right, Tyler. Well, lots of great information today. For those of our listeners and our viewers who would like to get in touch and learn more from the folks at agmarket.net, how can they do that?
Check us out the website, agmarket.net. There's a contact page. You can look up all the brokers, their contact information. While you're there, check out our Ag Intel. We give out a ton of information daily and weekly. And also check out our conference in Nashville, Farming for Profit, Not for Price. It'll be held the first Sunday and Monday of February in Nashville.
All right. Well, great conversation as always, Tyler. And if we don't see you again before that Christmas break, just have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
You too. Thanks for having me.
Thanks again to agmarket.net for the analysis today. We'll go ahead and take a look at how the numbers close. That's courtesy of the folks at Bar Chart. March corn is up 10 1/4 at 662 1/4. January soybeans up 2 1/2 at 1481 even. January soybean meal up 360 at 456 even. Soybean oil up 26 cents at 66.31. Chicago wheat up 17 1/4 at 767 3/4. Minneapolis spring wheat up 10 3/4 at 926 3/4. Kansas City hard red wheat up 17 even at 864 even. March oats up 9 3/4 at 346 1/4. On the Merc, December live cattle up 107 at 156.12. January feeders up 20 at 183.82. February lean hogs up 415 at 88.40. Pork cutout up 342 at 95.77. And Class 3 milk up a penny at 20.53. And that's been a check of the markets here on Ag Matters PM. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break to hear from our sponsor, the Iowa Soybean Association and the Soy Checkoff. When we come back, I talk with Iowa Cattlemen's Association CEO Matt Deppe. This is Ag Matters PM.
Iowa Soybean Association is driven to deliver for Iowa's 40,000 soybean farmers. We're proud to provide objective agronomic research, a helping hand with soil and water stewardship, and timely industry news powered by the Soybean Checkoff. Learn more at iasoybeans.com.
Welcome back to Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Riley Smith. Well, a cold Thursday night last week didn't stop Iowa's cattle industry leaders from gathering in Altoona for the Iowa Cattle Industry Leadership Summit. The event serves as a forum for industry leaders to gather and discuss a variety of topics from government policy to animal health. Iowa Cattlemen's Association CEO Matt Deppe said he's always glad to see their grassroots membership get engaged in all of those topics. You're here talking with Iowa Cattlemen's Association CEO Matt Deppe. Of course, we are at the annual Leadership Summit here in Altoona. Of course, a lot of members and other members of the cattle industry here today for lots of great policy discussion. I mean, first off, Matt, what are some of the highlights of today's event?
Yeah, so attendance has been good. Weather's a little bit challenging. There's other challenges out there like there always are, but we host the Iowa Cattle Industry Leadership Summit to talk about those topics that are keeping us up at night, those topics that we expressed they were keeping us up a while ago, and we're trying to make some influence on them and work from there. From a topic standpoint, it ranges from eminent domain to cattle marketing to farm bill type discussions with the Conservation Reserve Program. and how we can weigh into that on the national level as a state organization. So really good discussion. I guess one of the things that after the first 2 policy committee meetings, it gives me a reassurance that we're doing things right, getting the grassroots membership engaged, and ultimately being that voice for them.
Exactly, and of course this is the time of year, get to the end of the year, reflect on what's been going well the past year, what maybe things need to change, and of course, like you mentioned, we're getting ready for the next Farm Bill, so there's really no better time to get everybody together and talk about what they want to see.
Well, that's right, and we're really focused on the conservation title. There's quite a few programs that our producers utilize each and every day. There's a program or two that we'd like to see enhanced or flexed out a little bit differently, and we're already engaged in those topics. Hardly a little over a month ago, we had a Iowa Cattlemen's Association member in a House subcommittee meeting related to the conservation title in the Farm Bill, and did a great job, Mr. Shane Weiss from Manning, Iowa. So we're hopeful that this is kind of the initiation of us getting to the table like we like to, with the right leader at the right time, and influencing decisions moving forward.
Right, and I mean, what's been a lot of kind of the vocalization from the producers, I know a lot of the conversation's just been about not necessarily making a ton of changes, but keeping the stuff that works in the next Farm Bill.
Yeah, so keeping the stuff that works is very important. EQIP and what EQIP does for the livestock industry, that program is very valuable, especially when you look at confined animal feeding operations or animal feeding operations and building those. Certainly, when we look on the other side, things that need to be flexed out, Conservation Reserve Program, where it was intended to assist the agricultural community in our state and others in the late 80s during the farm crisis, and how it's evolved, sometimes good, sometimes challenging. But the challenge to us is probably rental rates, connected to those federal rental rates and what that does to the rental rate across the street, so to speak, for pasture. But also, ideally, I think there's opportunity to take that cow-calf pair and uphold them as a management tool, and maybe a continuous management tool for those acres that are set aside.
Right, I mean, it's so important to get these producers here to make their voice heard and really talk about just what they want to see, because who knows the cattle industry better than the farmers within it.
And that's what a grassroots organization is all about. It's really opportunistic, too, from a staff and leadership standpoint, too, because those folks that speak up, get engaged, show some interest in topics, they might be that right leader in the right place tomorrow.
Right, and is there anything else that's just kind of maybe a preview of the end of the year and into the next year that maybe our producers and our listeners should be looking forward to seeing from you guys soon?
Well, I think our theme this year is just moving forward and forward progress, whatever you want, however you want to put it together. We're in a profitable time for the most part, both calf sector and feedlot sector. That could, if we don't have something like a foreign animal disease break out, that could be good for a couple of years. We certainly want to take our producers and take that profitability and reinvest in the beef industry in our state. I think if we do that and we keep moving forward, we're going to reestablish ourselves as even a stronger beef cattle state.
Right, we know that sometimes those changes can be a little scary to embrace and really put onto your operation or even into policy, but like you said, a lot of these changes are in the best interest of the cattle industry and provide just many new opportunities and kind of expand the horizons for producers.
They absolutely do. Expansion is the name of the game, whether it's one operation or just building the holistic inventory in our state. Expansion also takes some required needs too. When we think about competition and packing plants, we're still interested in adding shackle space, consistent, large volume per day shackle space within our state. We know that's going to be valuable because likelihood is it's going to be a different competitor in the market, which provides fed cattle demand, which provides feeder calf demand.
Right, and obviously today a great opportunity for producers to make their voices heard. For those of our listeners who would like to, maybe they weren't able to come today, they'd still like to make their voice heard and talk with the Iowa Cattlemen. How can they do that?
Yeah, so we're a membership organization, so the first thing is getting engaged that way with that investment. And you can go to iacattlemen.org and get signed up as a member. There's plenty of just email and other types of communications. But then as you go in there, the other investment is engagement. And so showing up, so to speak, whether there's a general meeting like Leadership Summit where all members are invited, whether maybe in the future they want to be a leader in the industry on the board of directors or otherwise. we certainly encourage that working forward, because we know we've got a lot of opportunity ahead of us in Iowa with the Iowa beef business, and it's going to take all of us working one direction together.
All right, that again, Iowa Cattlemen's Association CEO Matt Deppe. Matt, thanks for taking the time to visit with us today.
Thank you.
That again was Iowa Cattlemen's Association CEO Matt Deppe. As for right now, let's go ahead and take a look at the ag weather outlook. Well, obviously the weather is a lot colder today, and that snow will likely be coming down pretty hard overnight and into tomorrow. We have that winter storm watch coming into effect overnight, and then tomorrow is really supposed to be the worst of it. Those blizzard conditions could create whiteouts to where travel really just isn't advised. So if you don't have to go anywhere, it's probably a great idea to just stay home and stay safe and warm. So let's go ahead and take a look at what the National Weather Service has in store for the next 24 hours. As you can see from the National Weather Service, winter is coming. Today we have snow and wintry mix likely across the state with a winter weather watch in effect. That started at noon. Highs ranging from the low teens to upper 20s. Tonight we'll have blustery snow and bitter cold temperatures. The wind chill will make temps even colder than they appear. Lows overnight ranging from about -15 to the low 20s. And tomorrow much of the state will be dealing with blizzard conditions and extremely cold temperatures. Lows overnight ranging from the negative single digits to the low 20s. And taking a look at the affiliate weather map for tomorrow, Cherokee will see blustery snow and a high around -9. Shenandoah much of the same, blowing snow and a high around -7. Des Moines, snow again and a high of -2. Waterloo, snow and a high of 2 degrees. And Des Moines and Waterloo both in a pretty big risk for that blizzard threat tomorrow, so keep an eye on the weather updates from the National Weather Service. Albia will see snow as well with a high around 3. And it'll be balmy in Clinton as they see snow with a high around 22. For more detailed forecasts in your part of the state, make sure to check in with your local Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network affiliate. And if you need to check on the road conditions in the event that you do have to travel, you can go ahead and call 511 to get a check on the conditions or download the Iowa 511 app. That's it for today's episode of Ag Matters PM. Thanks again for tuning in. You can find all of our content on our website at iowaagnet.com. You can also follow us on social media at Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and LinkedIn. And you can find all of our video content as well as previous episodes of AMPM on our YouTube channel. So make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell to see when those videos go live. Don't forget as well our free Twice Daily Market podcast on Apple, Amazon, Google, Spotify, and Podbean. From the IARN studios in Des Moines, I'm Riley Smith. On behalf of Mark Magnuson and Dustin Huffman, we thank you for watching. This has been Ag Matters PM.